Welcome to my podcast. Today's is the first episode of my podcast, and today is just going to be featuring me because I'm going to explain why I did it and get into details and ask some questions because I know some of you are going to be like, oh, why made you decide to do a podcast? Who's all going to be on it, etc. So, let's get started. Today, like I said, it's just me because I'm going to get into details. I'm going to ask the first question. Why did you want to do this podcast? Well, my friends have done podcasts on like Spotify, YouTube, and I was like, you know what? I listen to them, I support them, and I think they're really funny when they do it. And sometimes some of them hit hard. Like, I was watching one and they were doing like friendships, relationships, you know. Every once in a while you might need to go listen to a good podcast about friendships, relationships, you know. So I was like, you know what, this sounds really fun. I'm gonna try it. And then I was watching this other podcast and they were doing like crazy stuff, like trying, like we could do, me and my friends could try Mexican snacks. I don't know what this is, but it's some Mexican snack. You know, I have a whole box of them behind the camera, but anyway, we could do snacks, we could do fun activities. We don't have to just talk about life, you know. So that answered the first question. Question 2. Who are you doing this podcast with? Okay, so a bunch of my friends, I told them that I was doing this podcast, and I was like, you guys are gonna think I'm crazy. I said, but I'm gonna start a podcast, and they're like, can we join? Can we be in it? I was like, yeah. And they're like, we don't think you're crazy. We kind of want to do it with you. So I was like, okay, we'll set up a time to do it. And yeah, these microphones are really easy. So we could do like ASMR, you know, and they just hook on. It's not like I have to go buy a big microphone and put it in front of me so I could talk when I have these. And maybe once these quit, but yeah, so that's part of why I'm doing this podcast. Question 3. What made you decide to do this podcast and why? Oh, I already answered that. What are you going to talk about on this podcast? Okay, so some of the questions would be like, what am I going to talk about on this podcast? It could be about my life, my friend's life, like if she's going through something, my other friend going through something, if, you know, we'll sit down and talk about it, you know. But then there's times where we might be going through and we might be going, okay, which tracks the Mexican candy today? So we might just do that, you know. And then there's times where it will be, okay, let's do this today. We're going to be playing this game. Or whatever, you know. We could just play a board game on here, you know. And talk about life, you know. So I have a bunch of ideas in mind. I'm not so sure how they're going to go, but yeah. But today, since this is my first episode, I'm going to be trying a Mexican candy for you all. This is watermelon flavor. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Chris something. If you like these, let me know. Oh. It smells really bad, but we gotta hope and try that it tastes as good because it says watermelon on it. Oh, I can't stand the smell. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Before I try this, make sure you like this TikTok and comment down below if you would like to watch me do a podcast and if you have any ideas. Yeah, I cannot try that. But we do have a bunch of other candy, so yeah, I can't try that. Okay, so I would rate it 1 out of 10. Because I thought maybe if I put it in my mouth longer, it would taste like watermelon, and it never did. So I would rate it 1 out of 10. I don't recommend it, but if you like that stuff, then go get it. But yeah. So thank you guys for watching me. Stay tuned, because I do have a friend that's going to come on here in like a couple of videos. So yeah.